What's up, everybody? It's Transkuja here. Let me sit up real quick. Alright, so we're playing with Elise on the PvE right now, and I wanted to take a moment out to talk about her build because I haven't seen many people actually talking about a complete build. Later on in the video, I'll put a timestamp and you guys can just skip to that if you want to, but later on in the video I'll have at least the full build, and I'll be able to show you some of the stats, and I'll be able to tell you a little bit better why you want to get these things. But for right now, let's just talk about her abilities real quick. You really want to be maxing her W. You want to max her W simply because it gives you close to like 140% or 140% higher attack speed when you're in your spider form, and your spiderlings will lifesteal really well. You'll just be doing a lot of damage. She's a new character, but I feel like Elise, for now, she's gonna work best as a bruiser, and you're gonna want to be in the middle of the team fight, just really bursting down the AD or AP carries. So you're gonna want to be tanky to do that. The tankiness mixed with your lifesteal, mixed with the fact that you have a percentage health ability in your Q, it's just really gonna make you a pain for the enemy team to have to worry about. As I was saying, I'm just gonna stand there for a minute, but as I was saying, you want to max your W and your Q. Now your W comes first, max Q second. Your E is like universally a meh ability because neither one of them actually do any damage. That's the first thing you have to worry about. In spider form and in human form, your E does no damage, period. Your E is good for the snare in human form, the stun in human form, but I don't believe it actually goes through minions. Let's find out. I know that it's really slow, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't actually go through minions. Let's just go ahead and hit level 3 real quick. Alright. No, see, it hits minions. So you're gonna have a lot of issues landing that in team fights and in lane. So it's just an okay move. Now maybe this will change. Maybe that'll change after the PvE when she's officially released, but as of right now, it's just a pretty move. You're not going to be landing it too well in lane without having to be majorly out of position to land it. Again, it literally does no damage. It's just not good. It's not terrible, but it's not good. My camera work has been pretty bad right now. But as I was saying, your W is what you're going to want to max, and you want to build Elise to have her in the middle of team fights running the AD or AP carries off. She doesn't scale that well off of AP, and the ability that she does scale high AP for, it's not really that high AP. So, and you're not really going to be in human form in team fights. You're going to be in spider form for the bonus resistances. You get bonus magic resistance, you get bonus physical damage resistance. You just get a lot of resistances in spider form that'll have you wanting to do a lot of diving, and you actually do want to be in the middle of those team fights because your lifesteal is going to keep you alive for a really long time, and they're going to have to deal with you, and the more time they spend dealing with you, the less time they're going to spend killing your AP and your AD carries. So you're gonna want to build, well, maybe Rod of Ages. We're gonna go for Rod of Ages first, starting with the Catalyst. Oof, I should level that a little bit better. And after Rod of Ages, we'll probably grab. We're gonna grab a Frozen Heart, because Frozen Heart will give you the aura that you need in your team fights to really slow people down. And after the Frozen Heart, we're gonna go with probably Randuin's. The Randuin's and the Frozen Heart and the Rod of Ages combination, they're just really gonna make you a real pain to deal with. for everybody. You're gonna have the active on Rod of Ages. You're gonna have the health gain from I'm sorry, you're gonna have the active on Ronduins. You're gonna have the health gain from Rod of Ages. And you're just gonna be really hard to deal with. After you get the Randuins, I guess you can grab Guardian's Angel just because you're gonna be in there. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being really hard to kill. Nothing. Now again, notice how I didn't really focus too much on an AP in our build because, again, like I said earlier, she isn't so AP dependent that you would assume she'd be. I know a lot of people right now want to throw her mid because she sounds like she'll be an AP, but she's not. She works really well as a bruiser. She can jungle because of her lifesteal off of her spider form, her lifesteal and her armor, but she's going to be a better solo top focused on being a bruiser and a diver in team fights. Because whether they like it or not, they're going to have to deal with you. So I'm gonna work on this build really quick, and once I come back, I'll be able to show you or give you a better idea of what the finished build will look like close to the end of the match when you will start team fighting. Alright everybody, I'm back. I just wanted to take a moment to finish talking about the build from earlier. As you can see, I went ahead and rushed Rod of Ages. I got my Ninja Tabi next, and then I went and got the Frozen Heart, and I just kind of switched those around. But Rod of Ages, Ninja Tabi. You can build Ninja Tabis first if you need to. I just built Rod of Ages first because I wasn't actually versing anybody. I was just building. But in lane, because you're gonna be solo top, unless you have an AP top, in which case you can just build the Mercury Treads. But solo top, because most of the champions rely on AD, you can just go ahead and build Tabi. Then I get Rod of Ages, then you get Frozen Heart, and after you get Rod of Ages and Frozen Heart, your build is kind of at where it needs to be as far as your ability to sustain the fights go. Now you can always continue to build more health if you need to, things like Frozen Mallet if you want to. For whatever reason, you can build Frozen Mallet. You really want to grab Guardian's Angel. Because you're going to be in the back a lot and you're going to be taking a lot of the damage from a full team to the face. You want to be really hard to kill. The harder you are to kill, the more work their team will have to do in team fights to get you off of their carries. And that's it. If you have a bruiser on your team that the enemy team is having to force off of their carries, if they have to give everything they have to get you off and to peel you away from their AP or their AD, they're gonna really feel that from your team, because then your team is fighting them. They're dumping all their abilities on you, and you just have the Guardian's Angel, and your team is dumping all their abilities on them while their backs are turned to them. You're gonna be a real pain. Things like the Frozen Heart, and if you could build Ronduins after this, and it's AoE attack speed slow, so when you dive into the fight, let's say you have a really heavy attack speed based champion that you're fighting, like Kog'Maw or Tristana or Vayne, your Ronduins and your Frozen Heart are really going to be putting a stop to everything that they're really good at. They're really not going to be able to just overwhelm you with damage and crits as long as you have those two items available to you. If you're fighting a character like Varus or Graves, they're actually caster based AD carries, so their attack speed isn't really the issue. Now unless you have other characters with attack speed that would make you want to build Ronduins or want to build Frozen Heart, you could easily go with one or the other, and then substituting either the Frozen Heart or the Ronduins for a Trinity Force or a Rylai's if you absolutely decided you wanted the extra AP and some more sustain and a slow. in a slow in your auto attacks. I think it was auto attacks. It might be spell cast, but either way, you have a slow. You can, like I said, you can build Frozen Mallet if you want. You can go Ronduin's Frozen Mallet Rylai's. But you know, it's just based on what your team fights will be and how you intend to sustain. But I think the core items that you will need are Frozen Heart. I'm sorry, not Frozen Heart. You'll need Rod of Ages. You'll need your Ninja Tabi or your Merc Treads. You'll need the Guardian's Angel because you're going to be in there, and everything you build other than those things will be based on what you intend to be doing in team fights and how you intend to survive while doing it. Now the next thing that you have with Frozen Heart is you have the 20% cooldown reduction. Now what this is going to do is it's going to make your Q and your W that you should be maxed, that you should have had maxed at this point, it'll give them like maximum 5 to 3 second cooldowns based on what your runes are. Your Q is a gap closer. It used to slow. They've changed it so that it doesn't slow on hit anymore. But because it's a gap closer and because it only has like a 3 second cooldown and because it's true, well, I guess it's true damage based on a percent, you're really going to be hard to get away from. Let's just be honest. You have your E, which is your Rappel. Your Rappel is going to get you up and over the team fight. You don't have to walk through team fights anymore. You just literally land on whoever you need to kill. That by itself, mixed with your Q and your W, are really going to make you hard to deal with, period. Your W gives you 140% attack speed bonus every 5 seconds, and the lifesteal, and you have your spiderlings that also do damage. So as long as you're spamming those, you're going to be chasing people, and if you're chasing somebody and they're getting away, probably by the time they start to actually get away from you, you'll have your Rappel again. So yeah, there probably aren't too many characters in the game that can, or at least not too many AD or APs that will really be able to stop you. So there's a lot of viable builds, but the builds that I've given you so far I think are going to be the most successful for what you want to accomplish.